So earlier I shared the importance of remembering pertinent information such as your date of birth, your address, and phone numbers. So living here in America, remembering actually, first of all, your name. Your first and last name is very important because, and the spelling. You need to remember how to spell your first name and your last name in English. Since we live in America, it's important that you know how to spell your name in English. And in America, your first name comes first, last name last. Unlike in Cambodia, we put our last name first. That's how when we write, we put our last name first and then your first name. So here is the opposite in writing. So the reason why I said it's important to remember the spelling of your first and last name is because everywhere you go, they need you to verify and confirm your first and last name and spell it. And plus, you do a lot of signing in this country. There's a lot of paperwork that you continuously require you to sign your full name and also to initials. Initials mean to sign in a short version. In Khmer, I would say it Sanye Asokat because it's shortened your full signature. And secondly, your date of birth is very important that you need to remember. I know that back home in Cambodia, it's not super important that you remember your date of birth, your year of birth, nothing like that. It's not super important, but here in this country, it's important because if you, let's just say, were to call to schedule a doctor's appointment, first of all, they will ask you, what is your date of birth? And you just need to tell them whatever date of birth that you registered on your ID, your green card, or your Social Security, your driver license, whatever that you register under as your date of birth, that is your legal date of birth, not the date or year of birth that you had previously. For example, some people can be born 1975, but then they said they were born 1978, things like that. Whatever that you put legally, that's what's important. That's what you need to recite, because I've had a few people who comes to the Social Security office or to apply for welfare, social work, whatever. They said, well, my birthday actually, I was born 1950, but I put here 1959. And they said, why would you do that? So you're lying to us? So these things, I know we change our year of birth for a particular reason. We have many reasons in this, in our people that comes to America, but don't make life complicated for yourself. You just have to put whatever that's legal on paper when you come to America. That's most important. So your date of birth and also your address. It's so super important to remember your address. Where, first of all, know what state you live in. And within the state, there's a city. And the city, and then there's a county. So know what is your house number, what street do you live on, and great if you can remember the zip code, because that's important to pinpoint where you actually live. They need to verify and confirm those things as well. So the reason why I want to press on this subject is that because we have a situation where this lady, she's new here to America, and one day she decided to go out for a walk. So she went out for a walk around the neighborhood. She did not take her cell phone with. And then all of a sudden, she kind of lost her way. She couldn't find her way home. And then she started lurking around the neighborhood, and the neighbors who saw it, you know, and called the cops. They called the police because she looked suspicious, and the neighbor haven't really seen her walking around the neighborhood by herself. So she seemed suspicious. They called the police. They called the police. The police came and asked her for her first and last name, what address where she lived. She couldn't remember. She couldn't tell the police officer that. They said any phone number. She doesn't know. So the police didn't have a choice and thought that maybe she has issue with her mind. She has dementia or whatnot. So the police officer took her to the emergency room, took her, and then they dialed for the interpreter and asked, and the interpreter asked her what, I mean, what is her name and what sickness does she have, and things like that. And she said her name, but she doesn't know how to spell in English. So they couldn't find her in the system. And they asked who lives with her in the home. She said her husband. What is your husband's name? Spell it. She doesn't know. She couldn't say it right, and we couldn't find the husband in the system. And she goes, do you have any friends, family, daughters, or anybody, son that you can call? She said, I don't know their number. On and on and on. So all these things went on for quite some times, and so she just kept saying, I want to go home. And the police, the doctor said, we would like to send you home if you're not sick, but you need to give us a name and a phone number of someone that we can call to verify who you are and that they can come pick you up. And she doesn't know. She doesn't know anything. So they thought that maybe she's, mentally not well. So they were thinking to admit her. And that's why I just think that it is so important that you live in this country. You need to at least know those basic information. And if you don't, I know, don't scold me. I'm just saying this just to help out for us to, be, how should I say it, get our people together so that they at least have, so that they at least know how to put those information in an important place. And one of the things that I wanted to share is that, you can buy a small little book like this at Walmart or the dollar store. It comes in 3 or 4 a pack. You can buy this book and you can put all the information, on here. What's your name, your address, your phone number, your POC, person of contact, things like that, that you can just put here, because I know that right now we're in the era of a smartphone where we don't use our brain to memorize any phone numbers anymore. You just touch the phone and then boom, you dial a number and it goes through. But what happened when you're in a situation like that lady? You don't remember anything. And that's just creating problems for yourself, needlessly. There's not even a problem to begin with if you only know your name, your phone number, your address. But unfortunate for her that she doesn't know. And so she ended up in the hospital, and they were planning to admit her for something that's not necessary. And that's all to, the lack of putting the pertinent information in the right place. I mean, even I forget a lot, as young as I am, but I write down everything in a book like this. I put everything down, even from my day-to-day things to do list every single day. I have to write it down for myself, to remind myself what I needed to do also, not just knowing the basic information For example, of what do I need to do today, or some of the things maybe, oh, I need to do the laundry, I need to put the clothes away, I need to call somebody, I need to do this and that, and then I can jot off the list of things to do today. So that is just another good way to also use the book to put those pertinent information, put in your purse, and also things to do on a daily basis. So I like this book. I'm not promoting the book. They don't pay me to promote this little book, but I'm just saying that to make life easier, that put those information down. It's important. So that's all I wanted to share for this episode, and we'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.